In a small, quiet town, nestled between rolling hills, lived a couple named Leo and Mia. They weren't just any couple. They were adventurers at heart, always seeking the unseen and the untold. Their little cottage was filled with maps of places that didn't exist and books filled with forgotten folklore. One sunny afternoon, while exploring a part of the woods they'd never ventured into before, they stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. Tucked behind a curtain of ancient ivy was a small wrought iron gate, humming with a gentle, unseen energy. It wasn't on any of their maps. Curiosity, as it always did, got the better of them. With a shared glance of excitement, Leo pushed the gate open. It swung inward without a sound, revealing a sight that stole their breath away. Before them lay a sprawling farm, but it was unlike any they had ever seen. The fields didn't shimmer with dew, they glowed with a soft golden light. The air was thick with the scent of honey and wildflowers, and a melody like 1,000 tiny wind chimes drifted on the breeze. They had found the magic farm. As they stepped through the gate, it swung shut behind them, the world they knew vanishing as if it were just a dream. A friendly bleat broke the silence. A goat with a twinkle in his eye and a beard that seemed to hold stardust trotted towards them. He wore a tiny, tinkling bell around his neck. "Well, hello there. It's not often we get visitors," the goat said, his voice warm and wise. Leo and Mia stared, mouths agape. A talking goat. "The name's Barnaby," he continued, unfazed by their shock. "Welcome to the magic farm. You two look like you've seen a ghost." Leo finally found his voice. You can talk." Barnaby chuckled, a sound like rustling leaves. "Of course, I can talk. Everyone here can. This place is woven from magic, after all. Come, let me show you around." He led them past fields where pumpkins pulsed with a soft orange light and cornstalks whispered secrets to the wind. Everything was alive, vibrant, and humming with an ancient power. As they walked, a tiny, joyful squeal echoed from above. A piglet, no bigger than a loaf of bread, with tiny, iridescent wings, zipped through the air like a hummingbird. He did a loop-the-loop around Mia's head, giggling. "That's Pip," Barnaby explained fondly. "He's got more energy than a bolt of lightning. Pip, come say hello to our guests." Pip landed gently on Leo's shoulder, nuzzling his cheek. "Hi, are you here to play? We can race to the orchard of whispering trees." Before they could answer, Pip took off again, beckoning them to follow. The little piglet led them through a grove of glowing mushrooms and over a stream that sparkled with liquid light. They soon arrived at the heart of the farm, the orchard of whispering trees. The trees here were magnificent, their silver leaves rustling and murmuring ancient stories. In the center stood the oldest tree of all, its branches heavy with crystal apples that chimed softly. But as they drew closer, Leo and Mia noticed something was wrong. The vibrant glow of the farm seemed weaker here. The whispers of the trees were faint, and the crystal apples had lost some of their brilliance. Barnaby's cheerful demeanor faded, replaced by a look of concern. "The magic," he said softly, his voice heavy. "It's fading." Mia placed a hand on the trunk of the great tree. It felt cool and faint, like a fading memory. "What's happening?" she asked. Barnaby sighed. "The farm is powered by joy, by laughter, by true connection. But it's been a long time since we've shared that with anyone but ourselves. The magic needs more than just us. It needs the kind of friendship that bridges worlds, the kind you find in unexpected places." Pip landed softly on a low-hanging branch, his usually bright wings looking a little dull. "We've tried everything," he squeaked sadly. "Singing, dancing. But the light keeps getting dimmer." Leo looked at Mia, then at the worried faces of Barnaby and Pip. He saw the beautiful, living magic around them, and he couldn't bear the thought of it disappearing. An idea sparked in his mind. Maybe, he began slowly, the magic doesn't need a grand gesture. Maybe it just needs a simple moment. A moment of true friendship. He reached out and took Mia's hand. Mia smiled, her eyes lighting up as she understood. She reached out her other hand to Barnaby, gently stroking his starry beard. Barnaby leaned into her touch. Leo then extended his free hand to Pip, who happily hopped onto his palm, snuggling into its warmth. They stood there in a small, connected circle under the great tree. No one spoke. There was no grand plan, no magic spell to recite. There was only the quiet, sincere feeling of connection. A human couple, a wise old goat, and a tiny flying pig, all sharing a moment of pure, unadulterated friendship. A warmth spread from their linked hands and hearts, a gentle energy that flowed into the ground beneath their feet. It was a current of shared kindness, of acceptance, of the simple joy of being together. The ground began to hum, and a soft light started to pulse from the roots of the great tree. The light grew stronger, spreading through the trunk and up into the branches. The crystal apples began to glow brightly, chiming with a renewed, clear melody. The silver leaves rustled, and their whispers turned into a joyful song that swept through the entire orchard. The glow flowed out from the trees, across the glowing fields of corn and pumpkins, making them pulse with vibrant life once more. The air filled again with the rich scent of honey and wildflowers, stronger than before. The magic of the farm wasn't just restored, it was brighter, more powerful, and filled with a new kind of warmth. Barnaby let out a joyful bleat, his eyes twinkling brighter than ever. "You did it! You saved the farm!" Pip zipped into the air, his wings shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow, leaving a trail of sparkling dust behind him. He did a series of happy flips and loops, his giggles echoing through the revitalized orchard. Leo and Mia looked at each other, their hearts full. They hadn't used any special powers or ancient artifacts. They had simply offered their friendship, and it had been enough. They spent the rest of the day exploring the no-thriving magic farm with their new friends, playing games with Pip and listening to the ancient stories from the whispering trees. As evening approached, painting the sky in hues of lavender and gold, Barnaby led them back to the gate. "The gate will always be here for you now," he said warmly. "You are part of the farm's magic. Please, come back and visit." Mia gave Barnaby a hug, and Leo gently patted Pip, who was perched on his shoulder once more. "We will," Mia promised. "This is the most wonderful place we've ever found." With a final wave, they stepped back through the gate, returning to their own world. The woods were the same, but they were different. They carried the scent of the magic farm on their clothes and the light of its friendship in their hearts. They knew that true magic wasn't about spells or potions. It was about the connections we make and the love we share, and they couldn't wait for their next adventure. Thank you so much for joining us on this magical journey today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear what you thought in the comments below. Until next time, keep seeking the magic in your own world.